Welcome back to the Dutch Endeavor podcast. I'm back from vacation. Had 10 wonderful days up in the mountains, and weather was great. It was unseasonably warm. It's like 90 up there, which isn't normal, but it was nice. The last 2 days it rained real hard in the afternoon. We'll talk about that later because there's like super rain. It closed the highway with mudslides, and like all the roundabouts were flooded. One of the pools was like full of mud. It was nuts. It was cool though. Yeah, mud everywhere. Shit was fucked up. But vacation was great. It was nice to get away from everything. And then, you know, jump back into this bullshit. But I'm back. And lots to talk about tonight. None of it good. I can't think of anything positive that's currently happening. Maybe I'm not trying hard enough. Um, but or maybe the entire world's just going to hell in a handbasket. It'll be fun though. We'll make fun of it and we'll have a good time. So I don't know, strap in and let's get after it. Oh, I mean, let's just start. The Olympics suck. I mean, it's not even the Olympics anymore. It's just a world stage for protesting morons. I don't know. I saw something that NBC, yeah, it's on NBC, right? Their ratings and viewership is like in the toilet. No shit. I mean, you let's put it this way: you let all these people protest America prior to the Olympics, which I mean, I I defend your right to protest crap. You protest anything you want. Couple rules though: you can't burn stuff down. You can't loot businesses. It can't be violent. Peaceful protests. And you can peacefully protest the government. Nothing wrong with that. You, however, cannot peacefully protest the government when the government is sending your ass to represent itself on the world stage. That ain't the time for that. So in the trials, and you like turn your back, you're like, oh, well, they set me up. Whatever, you don't get to go. But then when you do get to go, and you're still protesting like a dipshit, nobody wants to watch that. We don't care. That's why the NFL, NBA, all their ratings tanked because nobody cares about that shit. That's not the time or the place to do that. Do it in your Subway commercials. I mean, you know who I'm talking about. The women's soccer team thought they'd all take a knee and then go out and fucking lose pathetically. Nobody wants to watch that. Nobody wants to watch you represent a country you're supposed to love but make a stand that you hate it. Nobody wants to watch that. Also, nobody wants to hear about fucking COVID for, how long are the Olympics? Couple weeks? 3, 4 weeks? Nobody wants to hear about that crap. Nobody wants the bullshit testing. Nobody wants any of it. I say you should just can't. I mean, I know they got postponed last year. Just dump them till 2024, 2022. Get rid of them. Nobody wants to watch it. Um, the sexualizing uniform. I don't even know. I'm not even sure what's happening right now. And that's the worst part of all this is that I guess a couple countries are gonna have their gymnasts wear like unitards that go all the way to the ankles or whatever, because they want to focus on the athletics and not sexualizing the athletes. Okay. Like, I hate to say it, but that's probably another reason your ratings are in the toilet. Like, literally, the only event I've even glanced at is I flipped on women's beach volleyball, and you all know exactly why I did that. And then I turned mute off for 1 second, and they were talking about shit I didn't care about, so I changed the channel. I don't know. I guess it's naturally, yeah, it's probably sexualizing them if we're going to talk in a broad spectrum. But that's probably because no one gives a fuck about beach volleyball or gymnastics. We only watch it, A, for the Olympics. And if you're going to protest, we're definitely not going to watch it. B, I mean, sometimes, seeing a beach volleyball player in a bikini isn't a bad thing. So maybe we flip on for that. But this stand about sexualizing the athletes is fucking stupid. I'm sorry, but I've never sexualized, been like, oh yeah, gymnast in the Olympics. Probably because normally they're like 15, and I'm not a sick fuck. Um, Beach volleyball players, yeah, I mean they're good looking. Their athletes are normally good looking and in a bikini, but nothing wrong with that. No, not over here, like tubing to it, but what the fuck? This has all just gotten way too woke and PC for me, so I'm not gonna watch. And apparently, according to the ratings, a whole bunch of other people aren't really interested in watching. So I don't know. Check your wokeness, fuckers, because it's bad. We're gonna continue on sports. Just little things like baseball. Watch a lot of baseball, a lot of Cardinal games. On vacation. Cardinals suck. There's no two ways about it. Their bullpen is awful. Like just shit. Like they blow 5-run leads in the ninth. They blow 10, 50. They suck. We need bullpen help. Hitting. They're not a great team this year, and I'm okay with that. Well, no, actually, I'm not. I'm super pissed that they suck because I demand perfection out of all my sports teams. But yeah, it is what it is right now. Here lies my problem, which I just got frustrated with because I'm watching the end of the baseball game. I don't know if we're down or up. Doesn't matter. But I'm watching these relief pitchers. They're not even closers. They might be closers, but they're not good enough to be labeled as a closer. So you're just a relief pitcher. I'm watching this guy take like 3 minutes to throw a baseball. I mean, he gets the ball back from the pitcher, and then he walks around the mound a couple times. Then he looks in and he dangles his arm. And then he comes set, and then he stares and he checks the runner and blah. He goes through like this whole process, and then he fucking winds up, throws a ball. Don't get me wrong, I have no problem with your process if you're a badass closer like Mariano Rivera, but I think he worked kind of quick. If you're awesome, you're going to wind up and you're going to blast it in there at 103 miles an hour, nobody's going to hit it, fine. Take your time. But if you're going to go through this whole dog and pony show and then chuck a ball way out, I'm done, man. Hurry up. Just get it over with. Let's go. Throw your balls, lose the game. Throw your strikes, win the game. If you want to speed up baseball, that's what you do. Have these third-rate relievers speed it the fuck up. Get rid of review too. That takes fucking forever. Okay? It's not any pitcher check. There's lots of ways. Rob Manfred, you're still a fuck, but we're not going to get into that totally. Looks like Texas and OU, I believe, are going to join the SEC. So they're going to hop, this college football, they're going to hop out of the Big 12, which now the Big 12 is fucking dead. It's been dead for a while, but they're really dead now. And the SEC is absorbing OU and Texas. They already have A&M in there. So they'll be very interesting to watch. They're going to be they are a super conference, but they're going to be even more super conference-y. I don't know. I don't really have an opinion about it. I just was telling you guys. Good for them. Good for Texas and OU. They always got a lot of airtime, but they're going to get even more now. And now that we've introduced players can be paid for their image and likeness, I don't know how that's going to work. Well, actually, I know exactly how that's going to work. The schools with the most exposure are going to be like, hey, man, it doesn't matter whether you're good or bad. You just come play for us and we'll sell your jersey. And if you're really good, we'll say, well, come play for us and we'll sell your jersey and you'll make the most money. So now I think the athletes aren't necessarily going to focus on performance and winning football games and impressing NFL scouts to make it in the draft, like increase their draft rank. What I think they're going to end up doing is building a brand in college football, and it's going to go to shit just like the NFL. I mean, most of these guys, they don't fucking care about loyalty, team, winning, anything. They want their check and they're going to hop out. Which, if that's the way that the college wants to do it, I feel like I talk to a brick wall when I say this, that, everybody's like, well, they deserve to get paid because all these universities make billions and billions of dollars off of them. Okay, I mean, should we pay students? I mean, I don't know how this would work, but should we pay students because universities make a fuckload of money off them through tuition? I mean, I don't know the stats, and I'll have to look up this up, but I think a university makes more money in tuition than they do in TV deals for college football. I could be wrong, but like, what are those students getting? An education? Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of what that running back's getting, which could open unlimited doors for him, or yeah, for him. Because I mean, football is a male dominated thing. I mean, yeah, if you get a scholarship and you're a female softball player, you're probably not going to go pro. I don't know if there's pro female softball, but you're going to get an education, and there you go. That'll open up many doors for you, and you won't have any student debt. But if the liberals have it their way, no one will have any student debt. That's another conversation. Um, the Cleveland Indians, which I'm not doing this. They are the Cleveland Indians. They're they've gone woke, and they're going to change their name to the Cleveland Guardians. Their logo's fucking stupid too. It's all just fucking stupid. And I mean, I can't yell, scream anymore because who cares? I mean, this is all just such unbelievable nonsense that I can't deal with it. I mean, I don't know if you can, but I definitely can't. Just like, I mean, the Washington football team, Washington Redskins. I mean, who says it's racist or, yeah, racist? A couple people, I'm sure you can find a couple people that say the Florida Seminoles are. And they have a great relationship with the Indians in Florida, I guess. Just like the Braves. People are like, oh, we got to get rid of the chop, the Brave chop thing. Fucking why? If if a professional sports team is named after your people, I don't see how you're offended by that. I mean, we don't have the Cleveland Indians. That I could see maybe you're offended by. Okay? But or if we had like I was going to say Georgia, but if we had like the Colorado KKK, yeah, that's probably not a great look. Okay, but we used to have the senators, all white people, and nobody was offended by that. It just, God, I'm so fucking tired of people being offended by everything like pussies. Uh, that's the sports stuff. I don't know what else happened in sports. The Broncos are doing some stupid, like, fan health promise that you, like, promise this little waiver that you're not going to come to training camp outside if you're sick with fucking COVID. Okay, so, like, a couple things to that. If you're sick with COVID, apparently it's the worst disease or the worst virus in the world or whatever, and you're on your deathbed. So you're probably not going to be going to training camp. Or it's not that bad, and you might go to training camp and be a super spreader. But if everybody's vaccinated, they can get it and they can still transmit it. But they don't have any symptoms. And if you transmit it to other vaccinated people who don't have symptoms, then it doesn't really matter. But if you transmit it to someone who's not vaccinated and they die from it, that was their personal choice. So they should probably lie in the bed they made. Yeah, I guess I just don't see the problem, but I'm not woke, so I don't know. Somebody will figure that out to me. We'll talk about vaccines later, but okay, let's see. Moving on. Oh, all right. So I guess there's the billionaire race to get to space first. And I know I'm late on this, but I haven't done a podcast a couple weeks of vacation. Got priorities. I needed my self time. And everyone says that, like self care is important. I did self care. Okay, so the Virgin Mobile guy, Richard Branson, he made it first. I guess He had like a rocket plane. It was on another plane that flew super high and then dropped it, and he went the rest of the way. It's cool that they're doing that. Um, I think it's a waste of money. Like if I was a billionaire, I'd buy a country and I'd run it my way. But I don't think it's a waste of money like the liberals do, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But okay, so Branson made it in, and then after that, and the Amazon guy Bezos shot his dildo rocket into space, which I guess went higher than Branson's, and whatever. Not the point. The point is that I guess he auctioned off the first tickets, and the dude who won the auction for like 30 million, I don't know, like a week before, calls up Bezos and was like, "Hey man, I can't make it. I have a scheduling conflict." I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've thought about this. I really have. I can't think of a single thing in this entire world, scheduling wise, that would conflict with me being shot into space. I honestly can't. Like, even if my first child was born, I mean, yeah, it's magical and stuff, but you can videotape that. You can't videotape me going to space ever. Like, what could you possibly have to do that is more important than going to fucking space? My wedding, I would absolutely miss my wedding for a chance to go to space. I'd miss anything. I think he chickened out. That's my personal belief, is that he chickened out. Because also, again, there's like, actually, no, I would trust a civilian made rocket more than I would a government made rocket. But I mean, either way, I believe that he chickened out, because there's no scenario that I can see on the face of this planet that I would, give up a chance to go to space and be like, I got a scheduling, I got a doctor's appointment. I got to get that yearly physical that day, and I'm gonna miss it. I'm sorry. Like everything else can be rescheduled, relived. You can't reschedule or relive going to space unless he's gonna be on the next rocket, because this one didn't blow up. Maybe. I don't know what his thinking was, but personally, I think the guy's nuts. I would have been on there in a second. If I had the money, you're damn right. I mean, the dildo-shaped rocket, I don't know. More on the space. So a bunch of libs, and it is, I think, all liberals. And I haven't seen any conservatives in this, but they're complaining that these billionaires are wasting their money on space travel when they should be like building houses for homeless people. No. You just know you're dumb and you're wrong. Couple things. You don't just hand money out. I mean, he did at the end. I guess he's going to give 100 million to two guys for just nonsense. But if you think about these private programs that that Branson and Bezos built, to shoot a rocket or a jet into space, think about all the jobs that were created for these programs. Think of all the infrastructure, launch pads, roads out into the middle of the desert. That Bezos rolled up in some weird new truck like a Riviera or Rivia or something, that, now that company has worldwide presence because they were on Bezos's dildo rocket shoot. Okay? I mean, everything, all the dollars they sank into that created jobs, stimulated the economy, did shit that actually works. Buying homeless people houses for them to trash and shoot up in is not a good way to spend money. So I applaud these guys on their own private space programs and spending money on all this crap. It's your money, dude. Do whatever you want with it. Bravo to you. It's cool that you got into space. You did it on a giant fucking dick looking thing, but whatever. And Branson's a Brit, but whatever. I think they all shot off from America though, so because I mean, who wants to get on a Russian rocket? Probably blow up on the launch pad. Let's see. Cuba, how's that going? People are still unhappy with communism, socialism, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And the left is still like, oh no, no, it's good. They didn't do it right. We can do it right. So and many people propose this, but I'm on board with this. Let's trade all the Cubans who want out of communism, bring them here, and send all the people on the left who want communism to Cuba. And we'll just do an even trade, like one for one. Okay? I'm good with that. We can even do one Cuban for two liberals. I'm fine with that too. We're not gonna go much more into that. Everybody's silencing them, and they're saying it's because of COVID vaccine. Blah blah. No, they're fucking tired of communism. That's what it is. And yet, this country, half of them want communism. It's insane to me. All right, let's. Oh, okay. So more government shit talk. I saw something today that like there aren't enough jobs, or no, there's not enough people to fill jobs. Like employers are begging for employees. And depending on what side of the aisle you're on, some people blame it on this, some people blame it on that. I'll tell you exactly what it is, and there's no debating this. And if it is, you're stupid. Right now, the majority of states, the government is paying people more to stay home and do nothing than an actual job would pay them. That's why they're not getting a job. Because if you can sit on your ass and do nothing and get paid more than actually going to work, most people are going to sit on their ass and do nothing. Okay? Now, we come to the economic talk that I think I've given many, many times here, and we're going to have to do it again because folks just don't get it. The left is complaining that people are better off staying at home than working because the jobs that are hiring, some of the jobs that are hiring, do not pay a quote living wage. Okay, for instance, fast food places, menial labor is begging for people because they don't have not enough people to fill the jobs because the people can make more money sitting on their ass at home than they do working for McDonald's. Because McDonald's doesn't quote pay a living wage. And let me tell you why McDonald's doesn't pay a living wage. Because if you have a job at McDonald's, it's not intended to pay a living wage, you dip fuck. That's not a career option, is flipping burgers at McDonald's. That's what a high school kid does to start out his life in the workplace, get a feel for things. And then he or she either gets a better job and makes more money and then he gets a living wage, or that person stays at McDonald's and gets promoted to different positions and gets a living wage. Okay? But starting off, you're not meant to get a living wage. It doesn't, a million times I've said this, it doesn't matter what number you pay fast food workers. There's this thing called the value of money, of the money you spend. Like your dollar bill has a spending power. And it's the value that that dollar bill has. So if you want to pay a fast food worker a quote living wage and you think that's $10 million a year, fine. But you have to understand that the cost of a Big Mac will now be $100,000. So it doesn't matter. And houses will cost billions, even little shitty ones. By the same token, if you pay a fast food worker $1 an hour, the rest of it will all come down. Big Macs will end up being $1. Houses will be $100. They still won't get a living wage because they're not doing a job that is indicative of a living wage. It's a transitional job, like you start out flipping burgers and then you make it to like assistant night manager that pays a little bit more. And then you make it to full-time night manager that pays more. And then you go to daytime assistant manager, which pays more. Okay? And you keep going up and up and up, and then you eventually get a career with a living wage when you're old enough to need that. But if you're 45 flipping burgers, something went wrong there. I know it sounds horrible and people are going to get pissed off, but the best way to get pissed off is get mad at me Go to the social media stuff. It's right there up top. Fire off. I'd love to talk to you about this. I'm still looking for someone who leans left to come on and defend your points. I'd love it. And I'll try to, I won't be mean. I'll try not to unless you go nuts. But you know the ground rules. You can't, Trump has nothing to do with it. I don't want to hear yeah, but Trump. And I won't say yeah, but Obama. Unless there's lingering policies that you can defend that are bad. It's just, I mean, it's nuts to me that people don't get this. It's absolutely insane to me that people are like, oh, I don't know why I can't find a job, or I won't go to, or people won't go to work. Well, because the government pays them more to stay home. But eventually that money will run out and then we'll really be fucked. But the people who are in favor of this crap aren't smart enough to get that. And, they actually won't end up paying for it later because they'll just be on the government teat for their entire life. Like the libs want them to. And then it'll go south in a hurry. It'll be bad. Trust me. I guess we could stay on politics for a little bit, but I want to get to the gaming, the Activision thing, so don't let me forget that. Let's see. Oh, the vaccine. I am so fucking tired of hearing about this. So on my Twitter, there's a couple people who are like, I don't understand why people are reluctant to get the vaccine, or I don't want to hear about it anymore, blah, 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 and blah. And NFL coaches are being fired for not getting it, and MLB coaches are on quarantine for 14 days because they got it, but they still got COVID. And okay, let's be clear about a couple things. It's not a vaccine. I don't care however you want to justify this in your own simple little mind, but if you have the polio vaccine, you didn't get polio. Okay? It's just that's the way it worked. You didn't like get polio and just have minor symptoms of polio, or you had the polio virus and you had no symptoms of polio. You just didn't get polio. That's a vaccine. That's how that works. Now, people will be like, well, you don't understand how a vaccine works. If you have the COVID vaccine and you get COVID and you have no symptoms, then the vaccine worked, but you can still transmit it. Okay, well, then you're going to transmit it to other people with the vaccine who will in turn have no symptoms, and it won't fucking matter, right? Perfect, great, done. Now, if you end up transmitting it to, and this is all their theory, if you end up transmitting it, now it's my theory, though. Now, if you end up transmitting it to someone who's unvaccinated and they die from it, that was their personal choice. Don't worry about it. That's it. Just don't worry about it. Quit worrying about other people. Just focus on yourself. If you want to get vaccinated or if you want to get the COVID shot, that's what we're going to call this shit now. The COVID shot, get it. Fine. Okay. And if you work for a private company that has decided that you need the COVID shot to work for them, I mean, that's their right as company. And if you don't want to get it, go find another company. Now, the government cannot do vaccine passports. That's complete and utter whack job bullshit. And props to Van Morrison and Clapton that said they're not going to play any venues that are going to require this stuff. Good on them. But again, quit calling it a vaccine. It's a shot. And if you want to get the shot, fine. If you don't, fine. But live with your consequences. No more masks, no more nothing. This isn't that bad. And I'm fucking tired of hearing about it. Furthermore, if you don't know why people are hesitant to get the vaccine, you're also stupid. I don't think we had to bribe people with lotteries, and Colorado's giving out Walmart gift cards. If you get the vaccine, like you get $100 for you, but if you have like 10 kids, you get like $1,000 of Walmart gift cards if you get the vaccine. I don't think you had to bribe people to get the polio vaccine or Hep B. It just, you did it and you got it and it worked, and it's not a vaccine if you have to bribe people to get it. Which that brings me to something that's totally hilarious about this. Okay, so back on March 3rd, 2020, there was a tweet from, I don't know, ACYN, Hacklin. I don't know who the fuck that guy is, but it doesn't matter. And there's this guy, Alex Azar, says that scientists have developed a potential vaccine after 3 days. Okay, that's the tweet. And it's got Trump on it and all that. And the replies to this are absolutely insane. And it usually from the left. The gist of it is that all these people are so completely anti-vax, it's not even fucking funny. Like, they are, Donald Trump's lying. There's no way we're going to have a vaccine. I'm not fucking taking it. You should focus on help right now. Blah, blah, blah. You know, this isn't disinformation. This is horrible. You know, we need to wait. We can't do this. Oh my God, he's going to kill so many people with this vaccine. He's crazy. He only cares about himself. Blah, 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 blah. The same fuckers that I guarantee you right now are like, you have to get the vaccine or you're murdering people, you heartless son of a bitch. It's like Mandy says, and we're going to talk about Mandy in a second. Mandy Connell, she does a great radio show on 850 KOA. You can listen to it on iHeart. She's noon to 3 Mountain Time. You know, most of the time I'm on board with her. She's all right. I enjoy listening to her. But, you know, she in her little Twitter bio says, hey, I wish people would just be consistent. And that's what I like too. That's what I want too. All these people demonizing this vaccine are probably the same ones that are demanding everyone else get it right now. And it's just insane. Like, this moron. They're not going to let Dr. Fauci out in the public again. Way too much impartial, accurate information coming from him. And then the people jump all over this guy. And now he's, you know, demonized or whatever. I call bullshit. Does anyone actually believe this? You know, November elections, all this stuff. Like, no, we're not taking this vaccine. Seems suspect. Notice they did not say how long, blah, blah, blah. All this just nonsense. And they're the same fuckers demanding that you get it now. It's just insane how they flip flop and no one calls them on it. Well, I'm going to. Not like the pussy Republicans that literally let the left do whatever they want and do nothing about it. And that's my biggest problem with the Republicans is we've always the joke, you know, the Dems are the party of bad ideas and the Republicans have no ideas, which is absolutely true. The Dems are destroying this country and the Republicans are just bending over and letting it happen. And then every once in a while, you know, they get up on stage and be like, we're not going to stand for this, but we actually are because we're a bunch of little bitches. That goes for all of them except for the Florida guy. But again, it's just Florida. This isn't a national thing. So, DeSantis, yeah. And the guy's in Texas, yeah, but you still have, what is it, Austin or whatever, that's the lib psychos. Oh, it's nuts to me. Okay, so as for this, speaking of Mandy, reminded us today of a post from a while back, and I remember it had to be over a year ago because I was it was before my injury. Okay. So I was still probably at work full time. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find this and I'm going to read. These are the attributes, I guess you would call it, of whiteness. I think. Let me find it and I'll read exactly. Okay, so this is the aspects and assumptions of whiteness and white culture in the United States. And I can't remember what this comes from. I think it comes from like the National History Museum of Black People or something stupid like that. Okay. So I'll start off with a paragraph that it says, um, white dominant culture or whiteness refers to the ways that white people and their traditions, attitudes, and ways of life have been normalized over time and are now considered standard practice in the United States. So all this stuff is standard practice in the United States, and it's supposed to be horrible because it's whiteness. Um, and since white people still hold most of the institutional power in America, we have all internalized some aspects of white culture, including people of color. So these are the aspects and assumptions of whiteness and white culture. So these are the bad things that white people do, or this is how you identify a white fucker when you see him. Okay. Let's start with rugged individualism. And so what it is like a little, like a topic and then the bullet points. So the first topic is rugged individualism. And the bullet points are the individual is the primary unit. Yeah, I agree with that. And I'm okay with that. I think that's important. Self-reliance. Yep, I totally think that's great. You should be, responsible for yourself and that kind of stuff. Independence and autonomy, highly valued and rewarded. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm on board with that. Awesome, good. Individuals assume to be in control of their environment. You get what you deserve. Yeah, like so far, I don't see anything wrong with this. I think more people should adopt this way of thinking. Okay, here's the next topic. Family structure. The nuclear family, father, mother, 2.3 children, is the ideal social unit. There's a million studies that say intact families, the kids do better. It's a fact. Husband is the breadwinner and head of the household. Typically, yeah, but I'm okay if it's different. Wife is homemaker and subordinate to the husband. Okay. Not sure she's subordinate. I think they work as a team. I mean, that could be flipped around too, that, if the wife's the breadwinner, the husband's the homemaker. And I mean, I don't see anything wrong with any of that. It's just, I mean, typically women are more nurturing, so they're more akin to homemaking. But if they're not, that's fine too. There's nothing wrong there. Children should have their own rooms and be independent. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I totally agree with that. I think children should learn self-reliance. They can. No, I'm not saying that you just put them in their own room and just let them fend for themselves. But as they get older, if the kid wants a snack, he can make his own snack. He should be able to entertain himself, do his own homework, and then ask your parents if you need help. But I don't see anything wrong with that. This is where we get a little weird that I can throw this back in a lot of faces, but it says emphasis on scientific method, which that's method instead of trust the science, like those liberals have. But objective, rational, linear thinking. Yep, objective, rational thinking is fucking important because irrational thinking makes you crazy. So, yep, I'm okay with that. Cause and effect relationships. Yep, if you do this, this will happen. Yep, I hope everyone understands that. That's important. And then quantitative emphasis. Yep, that's important too. All good things. Apparently, this is horrible though, because other cultures don't necessarily adhere to this. Maybe why they're not superpower countries. I don't know. Okay, history. This is also part of our aspects of whiteness, our history. Based on Northern European immigrants' experience in the United States. Yeah, no shit. That's a big part of our history is European immigrants. Heavy focus on the British Empire. Yep, we actually left the British Empire. That's what started it. The Puritans kind of headed over to Plymouth Rock because they were done with the religion over there. So, yes, that's an important part of our history, and that's where it comes from. The primacy of Western, Greek, Roman, and Judeo-Christian tradition. Yep, absolutely, because that's, again, where it all comes from. This country was founded on Christian values. the Greeks and the Romans are where we got our parts of our government from, the Senate, democracy, republic, constitutions, shit like that. Yep. So basically, so far, this is just stating the facts of the real fucking world. But I continue. A Protestant work ethic. Okay. Hard work is the key to success. Yes, it is. Nothing else about that. Work before play. Absolutely. Take care of your responsibilities before you go have fun. I don't see what the problem with any of this is. If you don't meet your goals, you didn't work hard enough. To an extent, yes, I absolutely believe that. I also think then this is part of your self-reliance and all that crap is, set obtainable goals. Stretch yourself. I mean, set goals, I can talk about goals later, but usually you make short-term and long-term goals, so the short-term ones you can easily obtain, and then the long-term ones, take some time. But yeah, set goals for yourself, and if you don't make them, assess why you didn't make them. Did you not work hard enough? Did you slack off? I mean, what happened? Self-assessment, self-reliance. Oh shit, that just keeps coming up. Religion, Christianity is the norm. Yeah, we were founded on Christian values. Like, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Sorry. Let's see what else here. Anything other than Judeo-Christian traditions are foreign. Again, yeah. And I'm fine with them being foreign because nowhere does it say that they're wrong or unacceptable. They're different to us. And I'm pretty sure in India, Christianity is a little bit different to them because they weren't founded on Christian traditions, you fucking morons. Okay, let's see. No tolerance for deviation from the single God concept. I won't say there's no tolerance. Again, that's back to our Christian foundation. Status, power, and authority. That's the next topic. Wealth equals worth. Yeah, I mean, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, I don't care what you say, money makes the world go round. It's just the way it works right now. Your job is who you are. I don't believe all white people believe that, but I mean, it does consume an inordinate amount of your time for a good portion of your life. So yeah, it somewhat does define you a little bit. Respect authority. Fucking yeah. Heavy value on ownership of goods, space, and property. Yeah, to an extent. But again, we were kind of founded on that. Like, you used to have to be a landowning white male to vote. So that was an emphasis on property. And the reason that was, it was because if you were a renter, your landlord could influence your vote and say, hey, man, you have to vote this way or I'll kick you out. So yeah, I understand why they did that. And I understand why that emphasis is there. Future orientation. Plan for the future. No shit. Delayed gratification. Again, no shit. That's the whole problem with this world is this instant gratification crap. No, man, you need to work for things. Work towards your retirement. You can't retire at 20. Progress is always best. To an extent, yes. Tomorrow will be better. Yeah, that's an optimistic look. That's probably how people get up in the mornings. Like the old toast to the worst day since yesterday. Time. Follow rigid time schedules. Yeah, man. It's fucking important to be on time. Get up on time. Go to bed on time. On time. Time is viewed as a commodity. Yes. I don't get why this is all good shit to me. Aesthetics. Based on European culture, no shit. Most of us were Europe when we got here, or European. Steak and potatoes, bland is best. I don't know about that. I think the whole steak and potatoes thing was out of necessity. Women's beauty is based on blonde, thin Barbie. That I completely disagree with. I won't say thin like Barbie thin, but not overweight, because overweight is unhealthy. And genetically, you know, looking for a mate, you probably want a good looking, fit one, because that's the one that's going to last. As for men, men's attractiveness based on economic status, power, and intellect. Yes and no. I mean, a strong man, yeah. Intellect, absolutely. You don't want to date a stupid person. They can't provide or can't participate in society. Okay, holidays based on Christian religions. Again, founded on Christian principles. No shit. Based on white history and male leaders. I mean, again, the majority of our history and leaders, so no shit. Justice based on English common law. Again, founded on from England. No shit. Protect property and entitlements. Yeah, I mean, if I work for something, I kind of want the laws to protect it. I don't want some squatter in my house, you fuck. Intent counts? It absolutely does. If you intend to kill someone and you fail because you're a moron, you should still be in trouble for intending to kill someone. Competition, be number one. Absolutely. You ain't first or last. Win at all costs. Not at all costs, but at all costs within ethics and legal battlefield. Yep. Winner loser dichotomy. Yes, we have winners and losers. That's the way the world works. Winners win, losers lose. And if losers are tired of losing, change your strategy and start winning. Action oriented. Yep. That's self explanatory. Master and control nature. Yep, we're humans. I'm fine with that. But when nature fights back, take it on the chin. Aggressiveness and extroversion. Yeah. I mean, to an extent. Decision making, I don't even know what that means. Are you pissed at us because we make decisions? Because that's stupid. Indecisiveness is the most irritating thing in the fucking world to me. Biggest pet peeve with some girlfriends, most girlfriends. What do you want to eat? I don't care. All right, how about here? No, I don't want that. So you do care. Majority rules. When whites have power, I like how they had to add that caveat. I mean, most of the time they do have the power. So, and majority doesn't always rule, because you guys have bitched about the popular vote forever, not knowing that it means dick all. All right, we're almost done here, and then we'll finish up. Communication, the King's English rules. Yep, we speak English in this country. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Written tradition, yeah, we write shit down. That's kind of the hallmark of society, is being able to read and write. Or avoid conflict and intimacy. I don't see how avoiding conflict is a bad thing. Intimacy, I'm not sure we avoid it as much as it's just more of it's an important thing to us, so we don't just, hand it out like fucking peppermints at the goddamn dinner table. Don't show emotion. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Don't discuss personal life. Yeah, again, I don't fucking care about your personal life. It's personal to you. But yeah, I mean, for friends and stuff, because it never really talks about relationships. Huh. Funny how that is. And then the last one is be polite, because that's fucking terrible, is being polite to people, you asshole, white asshole, you polite son of a bitch. Okay, so that was just, I know that took a little bit longer, but that's the insanity that we're dealing with right now. Apparently, that is problematic for the world, is all that stuff that I just went over for the past 10, 15 minutes. To me, that all seems absolutely okay. If more people acted and did those things, I think we'd be far better off. Okay, on the last thing. As you guys know, I do play video games, and right after this, I am going to hop on and we're going to stream some Halo tonight. So I'll be right back here on YouTube after a short break, and we'll get in some Halo. But so I do, kind of keep up with the gaming world a little bit, and I don't know how familiar you guys are with games, but one of the the big game franchises is called Call of Duty. And one of the makers of Call of Duty or studios or whatever you want to call it is Activision. And last week would have been last week now. Activision is being sued by the California Department of Labor. I don't know exactly what it's called, but that's essentially what it is for sexual. Well, see, I say sexual harassment, but that's a criminal thing, and we'll get to that in a second. But they're being sued and accused of some really horrible things with respect to the male female employee relationship. So, for instance, like apparently the females are not getting paid as much as the men, which, oh, real quick. Damn it. No, I'll say that later. No, I'll say now. And let's go back to the Olympic thing. I have this great idea. If the women's soccer players want to be as paid as much as the men, why don't they just identify as men, join the men's team, and they'll make them the same amount of money? Oh, but Dutch, they won't make it on the men's team because they're not as good. So should they not be paid as much? Well, no, not really. Yeah, see? Boom. Nailed it. Okay. So back to the Activision thing. I guess the female employees were doing like more work. Like the male employees were delegating their jobs to the females plus their jobs, and they weren't getting paid enough. That's wrong. Plain and simple wrong. Female employees were like getting demoted if they complained about sexual harassment. That's wrong. Equal work, equal pay, I'm all in favor of. But if you don't do equal work, like again, I hate to bring this up, but the women's soccer team, you don't make equal money. Nobody watches women's soccer, so you shouldn't get paid as much. I'm sorry. If you don't generate as much profit, you don't get as much share of the profit. Their whole lawsuit was shut down, so it doesn't matter. But on to Activision, if a female employee is doing more work than a male, she should make more. That's plain and simple. Gender shouldn't matter in that. Now they've been also accused of a whole bunch of like sexual harassment stuff. I guess one female employee took her own life on a company trip because one of the male employees was sexually harassing her, and quote, like I read the court thing, he bought or brought a butt plug and lubrication. That's so fucked up, it's not even funny. There were complaints, if you complained about sexual harassment, you got demoted or you didn't get a promotion. They did like cubicle crawl, I guess, that the male employees got drunk and like crawled around cubicles. I don't know if they were looking up skirts or just harassing female employees, but it doesn't matter. Sexual harassment is wrong. One of them, I guess, sent a picture of her vagina to a male employee who shared it with everyone. That's wrong. Also, why are we still sending nudes? Like, I'm sorry, guys and girls alike. If you think for 1 second, if you send a nude to someone on their phone, that they're not going to show their buddies, man or woman, you're stupid. Quit sending nudes. Now, it's not right to share them, especially out of anger, like that revenge porn kind of thing. Don't do that. That's on both of you for being stupid. Sexual harassment, again, not cool. Now we get into some more technical things. It's odd to me that this is being filed through the California Department of Labor and not a criminal case. Now, it might be criminal. I don't know if the California Department of Labor can bring criminal charges, but if you're sexually harassing a woman, like butt plugs and lubrication, that's criminal offense. You should go to fucking jail. if you did distribute quote revenge porn, I think that's a criminal offense. You should go to fucking jail. Okay, so and they might bring criminal charges later. And they're just right now trying to get their money that they're owed, like back pay and stuff like that. But Activision is on paper completely fucked. I don't think anything's going to happen. They have too much money. This will get all swept under the rug. They'll get a little slap on the hand. They'll rewrite some employee handbook policies, and that'll be it, which is unfortunate, but that's the way it's going to work, and they're going to slide. I hope it doesn't, but I'm a realist. I think that's actually what's going to happen. And then more, when I first heard about this, I just thought, and this sounds horrible, but it's true. I was thinking to myself, no shit. Like, if you didn't think that a video game company who makes Call of Duty with a bunch of dude bros, because that's what Call of Duty is, it's a game for dude bros, was going to have problems with female workers, you're a moron. You saw this coming. I'm not saying it should have come, though. It's a very unfortunate situation. I don't think anything's really going to happen with it. If someone did cause someone else to take their lives, nail that fucker to the wall. And if they were sexually harassing women at work, nail those fuckers to the wall. I don't think they will, but I hope they do. Some of the other complaints is they were talking about, like, their dates and having sex with women in the group, and the girls had to hear it. That I don't really care about. Get up and leave. Okay? I mean, you don't have to hear that part. You can leave. So that's not super big. The funny aspect of this is, if there is one, is now we know why Call of Duties have sucked, because these assholes just get drunk and rape women all day, which they should literally be nailed to the wall for that. And I don't know if I'm going to stop supporting Call of Duty because of this. I would do it more because their game sucks, and this is just like the straw that broke the camel's back. But enough people still enjoy their product, so when I stream, I will probably still stream it because that's what attracts viewers. But like tonight, I'm going to do Halo, so I don't know. We'll follow this as it goes. And like I said, I don't condone anything they did at all, unless it was like locker room talk. And then you can get up and leave, ma'am, and you don't have to listen to that. But if, any physical touching or, the butt plug and lubrications, nail those fuckers to the wall. Not paying them what they deserve. If you're going to get drunk and pass your work off on your secretary, fuck you for that. And if they help develop the game equally with the men, they should get an equal share of that. So, we'll see. We'll follow this how it goes. And I'll keep you up to date as much as I care to. Because I will lose interest in this. I'm so pissed at Call of Duty right now, the hackers and that garbage. But hey, I appreciate everyone for listening. I'm glad to be back from vacation. Make sure you find us on the social media stuff at Dutch in Denver. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, except on Twitter there's no I, it's just an N, Dutch in Denver. Anchor.fm/Dutch in Denver, that's where you get the podcast basis, but it's on Apple, it's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, it's on iHeartRadio, it's everywhere, it's all over the place. We're global now. Check out some of our affiliates like Nerd or Die, Streamlabs, stuff like that. Help me out, helps them out. Like the video, subscribe, do all that cool stuff. Help me help you. Right after this, I'm going to take a short break, freshen up, and then we'll be on the stream playing some video games. Until then, I appreciate you guys listening like always. And as always, like, subscribe, do that cool stuff, everything you do. Until next time, bye.